Hello, this is Edwin Dearborn, another edition of Growth Driven. If you're a small business or you're a startup, maybe a solopreneur, and you want to learn how to use influencer marketing for your small business or startup, then listen up. Edwin Dearborn here, another edition of Growth Driven. If you're a small business, startup, you're a solopreneur, and you want to tap into the power of influencers, then you're going to be very interested in this episode. And specifically, what I want to go into on influencers is I don't want to stick on one specific social media channel, although everybody tends to associate it with Instagram. And yes, that is the primary channel, but there are other types of influencers, and influencers are not just on one channel. They're everywhere. They're connected. There's influencers on LinkedIn. There's influencers in business. There's influencers in your email. So let's take a look at the bigger picture. Now, I know that for small business, you're trying to get somebody who's got 1 million followers, to tweet you out or to showcase you on Instagram. That's not likely going to happen. So I want to introduce you to two types of influencers you may not know about, yet can be very influential to increase referrals and word of mouth for you. Look, if you increase your referrals by 1 or 2 a month because you can tap into this type of influencer, it's of your benefit. You can always grow. And there are two types of influencers that don't really get talked about, but are specifically strategic for a small business. Number one is the nano-influencer. That is somebody that has got between 1,000 and 10,000 followers that are following them and engaged with them. Now, look, are all 1,000 or 10,000 engaged on a daily basis? No, but they have the ability to reach and influence a good number of them, within the year or within a half a year. So that's the nano-influencer, 1,000 to 10,000 followers. Then you have the micro-influencer. That's now from 10,000 all the way up to 100,000. Okay, they got 25, 30, 40, 50,000 people that follow them on social media. I would fall under micro because between all my social media channels, I've got about 34, 35,000 followers. So I would be in that micro. But do you know that within your database of emails, within your contacts on your phone, within your social followers, even if you only have 500, 600, 700 followers, there is a number of nano influencers and micro influencers that you're already connected with. Let me reiterate that. You're already connected with influencers if you have a database, if you have a number of phone numbers, and you have social followers. I don't care if it's only 200 people. Someone in that 200 there's probably several people that are nano influencers. They've got 1,000 to 10,000 followers. There's probably 1 or 2 micro influencers. They've got 25, 35,000 followers like I do. What happens when you team up with those people? What happens when you inspire those people, collaborate with those people, JV, co-brand, whatever you want to call it? Somehow, what if you could begin to influence the influencers? That's what you want to do as a small business, isn't that? You don't want to just influence people. Yes, you want to do that, but you also want to influence people who can further influence other people, that third level. It's great to influence individuals, but what about that domino effect of influencing people who then share your content even further? You're now tapping into their influence, their database, their reach, their followers, even their email list. That is exponential power. That is an exponential potentiality for you to grow your brand's influence and voice. This is one of the reasons why I started Growth Driven. Bring on experts, interview them, give them the content, and now they take my content and my brand and they promote it to their social channels and to their email lists. I'm now using the influence of nano influencers and micro influencers and even some, New York Times bestselling authors that go out there and share my content. Now, maybe you don't have a show like Growth Driven, but the principle is the same. You can find people within your database. So let's talk strategy. I was talking with an individual, brand new person that I'm working with in Hollywood, found out, he's got 4,000 connections on LinkedIn. He's got 7,500 names in his phone. No consolidated, organized effort to reach all those people. Can you imagine if he was sending content to like 11,000 people? Do you think in Hollywood he's going to reach some nano and some micro and some actual influencers? Absolutely. So now we're working together to put that database all together and have a systematized reach and actually sharing his content to probably 10 times more the people that he's ever done. I guarantee you he's going to get more work. Anybody that I consult, anybody that I work with, anybody that I partner with or JV with, I ask these questions. Do you have an email database? Kind of yes, no, maybe. Do you use it? Kind of yes, no, maybe. No one has got, I'd say no one. Very few people have an organized system with their email base of past clients, past leads, and then constantly putting their brand presence with really engaging content. And I guarantee you, within that list of 800 or 1,000 or 2,000, whatever it is, there are nano-influencers and micro-influencers that if you were to give them something inspirational or engaging enough, they would then further that content to their people. What does that take? It takes creativity. It takes an understanding of what would inspire these types of influencers to work with you. What would inspire them to actually share your content? What would be the go buttons that would make them want to go, wow, I really love that piece. I'm going to tell everybody on Facebook. I'm going to share that. I'm going to like that. That's the key. We have to find something that these influencers, it touches their mind, it touches their heart, their soul, it gets them emotionally, it gets them cognitively to move and talk about you, even if it's just a share, a simple share on social media or making a comment, which then makes that post go to even more people, because the more engagement you get with your posts, the more the social media giants will actually share content to a broader audience. So there's many layers to this influencer marketing. Moreover, are you automating really good content? There's technology out there like Hootsuite and social media sharing tools that you can preload your content and just constantly be in front of people on multiple channels all at the same time. You've got that omnipresence approach. So imagine you're just creating content or having somebody create it for you. You putting that content out there all the time, inspirational, engaging, cognitively moving content that all of a sudden now people want to work with you. They want to share you. So influencer marketing, yeah, the big brands like NFL and Coca-Cola and Gatorade and Nike, yeah, they're taking it to a level that you and I probably never will. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you, the small business owner, tapping into that database, those few followers. And you may look at it and go, well, I don't have 1 million followers. You don't need 1 million followers to tap into the type of influencers that I'm talking to. You don't need an email database that's large. I've started with companies that have 300 people in their email database, and I've grown them to 5,000 within a year by putting out good content, reaching out to micro and nano influencers, and just engaging them over and over and over. So no matter where you are, there's always a starting point for you as a small business. The question is, have you assessed your resources? Like, how many people do I have in my database? Do I have a CRM? Am I emailing them? How many followers? Number two, what would move the needle with these people? Why would they want to work with me? What would I have to publish? What kind of content would get them saying, yes, I want to work with you. Yes, I want to share it. how do we collaborate? When you reverse engineer their psychology, their demographics, their psychographics, their needs, their wants, their desires, their aspirations, and you can encapsulate that in your content, in your messaging, in your communication, all of a sudden now you have more people wanting to work with you and more people sharing with you, and that creates word of mouth. You know, there's a saying, advertising will bring you clients. Word of mouth and referrals will bring you the best clients. So I'm all for advertising. Yes, spend money, take your budget. I've talked about this many times. Put a certain percentage in and use paid social media and paid email and other paid forms of communication and expand your reach. But why not also concurrently have a way to inspire more word of mouth with influencers, even if they're small? It's influence. And that's what you want as a business person. You want to start reaching into the nooks and crannies of your niches, of your community, of your database, and going, who can help me move me a little bit forward? Who can get me that next referral? Who can get me that next speaking opportunity? Who can get me on the next podcast? And if you keep thinking like that and strategizing like that and executing with content that will do that for you, you're going to look back a couple of years from now and go, wow, I started small. Now I graded something big. And that's because you tapped into the influence of others. Now, if you don't have a strategy on how to leverage influencers, specifically nano and micro influencers as a small business, that's specifically how I help businesses grow. That is the strategic approach I take. I reverse engineer what you have. I look at it and go, hey, what if we did this and this and this? And next thing you know, we've got some bright ideas, not just bright ideas that we sit and pontificate over a cup of coffee, but bright ideas that we actually execute, that move the needle, that get you in front of more people, that get your content shared and consumed to more individuals. It is possible once you decide you are someone who's ambitious and wanting to win even more. I tell people I'm only looking for two types of business people. One, they're stars. They've got something big and they want to just take it to the top. And then there's those individuals, they're just winning in business, but they want to win more. You know, it's the dental office. They're really winning. They got a great dental office. Hey, you know what, Edwin? We want to grow another 10% per year. We want to open a second office. So if you've got a star business or you're winning and you want to win even more, I would love to work with you. Well, hopefully this has given you some ideas on how you can tap into influencers. It is such a game-changing opportunity for you. I'm telling you right now, you get smart about influencer marketing and it will change forever how you grow your brand. This has been another edition of Growth Driven with Edwin Dearborn. Make it a great day. Bye-bye.